Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And I beg the indulgence of the House to hear my story, as I hope that it will go some way to explain how anti-Semitism can manifest itself in our country. I come from a family that is drawn from many corners of the Jewish diaspora. I'm of Dutch, Polish, Russian, Lithuanian and Turkish heritage. I'm a mix of both the Ashkenazi and Sephardic traditions. My Dutch family was traced back to the Jews who were expelled from Spain in the 15th century. And in Britain, we found our home. While we are small in number, the Jewish community has proudly been a part of British society and has made many great contributions to all aspects of civic life for hundreds of years. I grew up in multicultural northwest London. I went to a Christian school. I had friends of all faiths and none. I had never seen anti-Semitism as a child, but I knew from my own family history what anti-Semitism was. It was during a debate in 1938 that Commander Robert Tatton Bauer MP told my great-uncle, the Honourable Member for Seaham, across the floor of this House, to go back to Poland. And the most pernicious and haunting examples came from the Holocaust. On my mum's side alone, we know that over 100 members of her family, aged from 4 to 83, were sent by the Nazis to their death in the gas chambers of Treblinka, Sobibor, Mauthausen, Bergen-Belsen and Auschwitz for no other reason than they were Jewish. I was 19 when I received my first piece of hate mail. It described me as a dirty Zionist pig. And here starts my 18-year experience of contending with anti-Semitism. As a university student and activist, I was attacked by all quarters, from the far right to the far left. I had members of Hizb ut-Tahrir, an anti-Semitic and homophobic organisation, follow me and camp outside my house. I received countless anti-Semitic emails and letters condemning my work as the convener of the National Union of Students anti-racism campaign. When I was selected as a Labour Council candidate in 2009, people publicly challenged how I could possibly represent anyone from the Bengali community because of my faith. And since my selection and election as the Member of Parliament for Liverpool Wavertree, I've received a torrent of anti-Semitic abuse. In total, 4 people have been convicted since 2013 for anti-Semitic abuse and harassment that they have directed towards me. 3 of those were imprisoned and were of a far-right persuasion, including a member of the now proscribed National Action Organisation. And in the wake of one of those convictions, a far-right website in the United States initiated the hashtag #FilthyJewBitch campaign, which the police said resulted in me receiving over 2,500 violent, pornographic, anti-Semitic, extreme messages in just one day alone. There is currently 1 more person on remand having made threats to my life because of my faith. Now, I'm fortunate, I've said it publicly and I will say it in this House. I have a platform as an MP which affords me the opportunity to speak out, and I happen to be pretty resilient. Well, I thank my honourable friend for her intervention, and I will never stop speaking about all forms of racism, including anti-racism. And I say that I've spoken out, but I think it's important to say that I've been able to speak out because I am resilient. But at a later moment, perhaps my mental health will not be in a place where I have the opportunity to speak out. And I'm also grateful to the family, the friends, my team of staff, my constituents and supporters who serve as a very welcome antidote to the bile that gets hurled in my direction. And I will not be cowed in using the full force of the law that we have in this country to hold people to account. But having heard the victim impact statements read out in court of people who haven't been able to speak out, who have been so negatively impacted, now unable to work, to maintain relationships, who have seen their health impacted, just one instance of racism can have a devastating impact on an individual's life. Madam Deputy Speaker, I make no apology for holding my own party to a higher standard. Anti-racism is one of our central values, and there was a time not long ago when the left actively confronted anti-Semitism. The work that the previous Labour government did to move the equality goalpost in this country was one of the reasons why I joined the Labour Party. One anti-Semitic member of the Labour Party is one member too many. And yet, as I said outside this place in Parliament Square, and it pains me to say this, Madam Deputy Speaker, proudly as the chair of the Jewish Labour movement in 2018, within the Labour Party, anti-Semitism is now more commonplace, it is more conspicuous, and it is more corrosive. And that's why I have no words for the people that purport to be both members and supporters of our party, who use that hashtag JC4PM, who attacked me in recent weeks for my comments, for the fact that I have they've attacked me for speaking at that rally against anti-Semitism, who've questioned my comments, where I question the comments endorsing that anti-Semitic mural, who say I should be deselected or have called it a smear. They've accused me. I thank my honourable friend for her solidarity, and I'm grateful to colleagues who have stood by mine and many other colleagues' sides. But there are people who have accused me of having two masters, that have said that I am Tel Aviv's servant, that have called me a paid-up Israeli operative, who've said, and essentially it's anti-Semitism of the worst kind, suggesting that I'm a traitor to our country. They've called me Judas, a Zion-Nazi, an absolute parasite, telling me to get out of this country and to go back to Israel. Now, I'm grateful to the Community Security Trust and the police for their work to keep me and my family safe, and for all that they do for the British Jewish community to keep our Jewish schools and our places of worship safe. But they shouldn't have to do that. And in terms of what needs to be done about it, I know that many colleagues will be putting forward very practical elements of what can be done to contend with this very serious issue. But the hurt and anguish of the Jewish community must be understood and must be taken seriously. This is not the time for games or divisive engagement. For the government, there is a massive priority to urgently conclude its work to better protect everyone in this country online. In terms of the comments that are on a daily basis, just in response to this debate, I urge the Secretary of State to see some of the comments that are already on Twitter since we've started this engagement.
Right now.
And my party urgently needs to address this issue publicly and consistently. And we need to expel those people from our ranks that hold these views, including Ken Livingstone. Madam Deputy Speaker, we have a duty to the next generation. Denial is not an option. Prevarication is not an option. Being a bystander who turns the other way is not an option. The time for action is now. Enough really is enough. And I just want to conclude with the very eloquent words of the former Chief Rabbi, Dr. Jonathan Sachs. And he said, "An assault upon Jews is an assault upon difference. And a world that has no room for difference has no room for humanity itself."
Andrew Percy.